Hi, everybody. Welcome to Toolkit Tuesday. Hope you guys survived the first week of 2021, and it still seems to be some crazy times happening. We are knee deep here at Proper Planning in our planning for the 2021 events. And I thought I'd share today some thoughts I've been having around content and storytelling and ultimately delivery of your message through a digital conference. So I was reminded when I was studying for this Certified Meeting Professional CMP exam, I was reminded how when they had a definition book that you had to look at, and they had different definitions of different gatherings, meetings, conferences, summits, forums, conclaves, you name it. I remember thinking, wow, there is actually some definitions of the different ways to gather. And I feel like in some ways over the years, we've gotten to a point where everything is under the name of a conference, and everyone's put in a big ballroom and just let the pot boil. Sure, there's breakout sessions where there's specific content, but I'm not sure we've done a really good job of thinking through the definition of why we're meeting and what content we're sharing, and now ultimately how that translates into what format should we use in a digital or virtual event to deliver that content. So just again, it's interesting, a conference is defined as some place that you're discussing a certain topic. A summit is specifically for leaders of industry. A forum is for idea exchange. A seminar is to train. A symposium is discussion of a particular topic. So you can see what I mean. There's thought gone into why are you gathering, and there's a different name for the type of gathering that you're going to have depending on what your goals are or what your content will be. So as we think about reinventing the gatherings that we're having this year, I'm challenging our team to go back and think about what should this event be called based on what we're trying to achieve. Why are we having this? Are we having a symposium and we've always called it the annual conference? Are we having a forum where we really do want to have a lot of discussion, and as opposed to speak to people and educate them on something or train them? So really getting into kind of the nuances of the type of event that you're having. And then I've always said, and you've heard, content is king or queen, and it really goes to content is the most important reason people will give you their time and their money. So thinking through content, and what I've experienced last year was people were racing to figure out the venue or their platform, and they kind of abandoned some of the principles of a professional meeting planning of defining your goals and strategies. Why are you having this meeting? And then in this scenario, I'm sharing with what would you call your meeting depending on what your goals are. And ultimately, when you are deciding what content you want to share, I'm challenging all of our clients to think about what their story is. If you were going to write a story, you would produce an outline. And as all good storytellers know, you would have a catchy introduction, and you would take folks, readers, on a wave with a climax, and you've had a villain. You would have these elements of a story that you would work into an outline to guide you through creating your different chapters in your actual content. So I think it's the same with event planning, that we should be starting with an outline of what is it that you want to share this year with your digital or virtual event. Are you trying to teach? Are you trying to discuss? Are you trying to form a group opinion? What are you trying to do? What story are you trying to tell? Do you ultimately want to engage them enough that they would donate money to your cause? Are you trying to get and build a movement where you need consensus from everybody and you want to gather their input and then form a white paper or a stance on a particular subject? Are you trying to gather your industry and provide continuing education and update them on advocacy issues? again, all of these things that you're thinking, really thinking through, need to be determined and outlined your content for the conference. And then there's this new layer with digital virtual events that is to think through what is the best way to deliver this content. Should this be a fireside chat with conversation? Should this be a pre-recorded message from the CEO about the state of our company? Should this be a small group discussion and then brought back to a larger forum? Should this be question and answer of a particular expert? You know, I saw a really cool thing the other day where one group was putting on their registration form how they wanted to have questions ahead of time on the registration form, and all the speakers had to review the questions before delivering their content to the show, which I thought was, it seemed kind of like a no-brainer, but it was a reminder for me of how important it is to engage your audience. Again, depending on your goals, but how important it is to have these speakers not rinse and repeat a subject matter expert talk, but really listen to the attendees ahead of time, get their questions, and then create their content around that need or that ask of the audience to address a particular subject. So again, I'm finding we're in the planning stages, and a lot of people immediately want to go to, well, how do they log in, and what platform are we using, and what do you, you know, are we going to have meals shipped ahead of time or gift boxes? They're really knee deep in the weeds of the logistics, and I'm trying to pull them out into a content, well, a goals and objectives conversation of why are you having this meeting? You know, what should we be calling it? Whether you want to change the name or not, you still should be clear on the objective of the meeting. And there are a lot of different reasons to gather. So being really clear on why you're gathering, and then to make sure that you're thinking through your story, make an outline of your story. You know, we're doing an awards program, and we were discussing the elements of the awards, and they all told me it's really boring. It's like a graduation. You would just read the names. And so as we reimagine, reinvent a digital awards program, we're really thinking through, okay, is your goal ultimately to recognize these frontline employees, and maybe reading their name and having them walk across the stage as you used to do is not the best way to recognize them. Maybe there's a new way to share that they are the cream of the crop on the frontline service. Maybe there's a fun way to bring someone in that's, you know, customer service expert that could really say, these folks are amazing, and this is what it takes to be a good frontline service representative. We're talking about using Cameo and bringing in some celebrities. This is a regional event, and bringing in some of their NFL football team to talk about the different categories of awards that they have, and really dig into why we're recognizing this particular category. So again, I'm sitting right now in the planning stages with a lot of things on the books for 2021. Most of them at this point are looking at continuing to be digital or virtual. And it's been an interesting first, couple weeks to try to get the clients to think strategically and more re-envisioning how they've done things. We've gone through a process where we list every element of the show, and then we just ask the question, does this translate to digital? Yes or no? Is it in or out? Is this a sacred cow we have to keep? Or is this something that could easily be taken out of the agenda and the content and repositioned in a way where we just did it as a digital library? Does it have to be in a digital experience? So I guess my message today is although I got a couple main points in here, my message today is to sit in the evaluation process, in the creative process, in the collaboration process with your clients right now, and really define and redefine what their virtual event can look, feel, sound like, and will it meet the ultimate goals? And if you have different content goals, 1 hour you really want to engage in conversation, that's a different format and potentially a different digital tool to make that happen. If you've got a full day of training and it's just a keynoters one after the other, that's a different digital tool and format of how you would deliver that. So try to embrace and enjoy the time and opportunity right now to really dig in. Think about why you're having the conference, what your goal is, or your objective around what kind of a meeting or gathering that it is. And then take the time to look at your content and the content you've had in the past and the content you want to have this year, and outline that. Put some columns together. If this is best delivered in a two-person interview with discussion afterwards, this one is, you know, pre-record of a keynote message. This one is the CEO, he prefers to be live. You know, really go through and analyze the delivery method of that content, and then pick your tools. So hopefully that's a little inspiration. Again, deep in thought about reimagining, re-envisioning things. And I want to encourage you to take the time to be strategic and creative right now, and then pick your tools to deliver a great event. So happy Tuesday, and we'll be in touch soon.